YouTube, it's Tone back with another one for you. This one is a continuation of use of a bill of exchange. Right here, we got probably like 3 more videos left, and you guys should be able to get this done. Um, I mean, this will make more sense to people who have done the UCC and things like that, which you do have to do prior to doing this. So let's get right into this. So right here we have an example of a bill of exchange. So the top left and top right, you're gonna have two brackets that show the discharge amount, the amount that has to be discharged. That came from an offer that you accepted from a merchant somewhere. So right here you see true name, secured party. Now I had a client the other day actually asked me what secured party means. Secured party is when you commercially secure your straw man. That's when you basically kidnap your straw man. You commercially secure him, and party makes reference to the two of you. So you being the live living person, and then the straw man being the other party in this secured party relationship. So right there. So that's the purpose of that. And you're gonna have your name here, your true name. So that'll be upper lowercase, and then your city, state, zip. Then it'll be two, Secretary of Treasury, Department of the Treasury Bank, S.B.A. ledger, and you're gonna have all your numbers in accordance with whatever it is that you're trying to discharge. So it should correspond with the account numbers and things like that. So no later than 15 days after receipt, please credit the account for the account name, and then the creditor's name is going to be there as well. So 15 days has to do with the law that has to do with discharge. So 15 days for it to cure once the agreement is made. So the discharge amount is going to be here as well. So personal treasury account, the UCC contract trust account, right? So that's going to be your private trust that you have set up with the Treasury Department based on your UCC claim. So the obligation of the drawee, the acceptor, Secretary of the Treasury, through the bailee, the authorized agent of the claimant's financial institution, the Treasury Tax and Loan Department, the TTL Department, that's the private side of the bank. So hereof arises out of the want of consideration for the pledge and by redemption of the pledge under Bank Resolution HJR 192. That's House Joint Resolution 192, June 5th, 1933. Then we have Public Law 73-10, which correspond to that as well. If anybody says that HJR was never ratified and all that, which a lot of people do talk that dumb shit, then you have Public Law 73-10. That is actual, well, if you want to call it public law, but it's codes and statutes, but it still qualifies as that for this particular game. And Guarantee Trust Company of New York, represented by the attached claim accepted for value and bearing the account number of the creditor account number. The claim document order complies with UCC 3-104. And so what that makes reference to UCC 3-104 is it's similar to like the claim and recoupment that people use during the like a foreclosure event or something like that. And so what happens here with UCC 3-104 is that when you present this instrument for discharge of any public obligations, they have to accept it, and they just have to. And if they don't, then the debt is discharged anyway. So you have this law right here backing you up anyway. And so that's why anytime you serve these upon people, you want to use a notary, because that serves as your witness, and that is court. Okay, so if you ever had to take it further, if they really didn't want to take it and you wanted to push it, then you're gonna have to have a witness and things like that, and that's where the the notary comes in handy and things like that, and keeping really good records as well. So the terms of the original contract hereby surrendered as said pledge and redeemed discharged by the drawer through the attached document by acceptance for value, exempted for levy. Federal regulations require claimant's financial institution to accept this bill, sign and present directly via certified or registered mail, return receipt to the Secretary of Treasury, Department of the Treasury on drawer's UCC contract trust account, unless the original negotiable instrument is dishonored in writing within 15 days of receipt by the Secretary of Treasury's claimant financial institution, is to release the credit on the hold to the payee claimant within the time stipulated by Regulation Z, Truth in Lending Act, and on the date designated, whichever is later. The amount of this accepted draft is to be ledgered by claimant's financial institution, TTL, Treasury Tax and Loan Department, to the designated account for the discharge of this claim, Regulation Z. And I don't know if you guys listen to rap, but if you ever heard of Jay-Z, this thing makes reference to reference to Regulation J and Regulation Z. So, these people try to tell you, and they put it out there just in stupid ways like that, but they can't just really come out and tell you and shit. But I can. So these are certified funds. So notice the law relating to principals and agents applies. Then under here, you're gonna have there's gonna be a space here for the TTL department of their bank to sign. See the Bailey, and they act. So this is all a trust action essentially, and that's what the Bailey acts as, the person authorized to release funds. So it says where it's accepted at secured party creditor without recourse to be processed as a check. Do not present for collection. And then you have the discharge amount down here at the bottom. So up at the top four corners, you have the discharge amount there. If you need the book too, email me. That shit is free. That is free. Then the letter of advice. This is going to be the processing instructions that you send along with your instrument. This is going to let them know what to do with it and how to process it in the bank. So, so they can let the bank TTL department know how to process this as well, because maybe they've never done it before, or they pretend never to have done it before. So, when you can prove that you gave this to them and they still didn't want to do it, then that's when you can go ahead and charge them criminally as well. So the letter of advice. Important bank and treasury routing instructions require special handling, not to be presented for collection, processed as a check. Promptly mail via certified mail. Return receipt, the signed instrument with these documents to Mr. Johnson Snow or his successor, basically the Secretary of the Treasury Department of the Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Ave, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 2020. So up here, you're going to have the creditor's name, the creditor's street up on the top left-hand side. The supposed creditor. The real creditor always goes on the right side. So your name's going to be over here on the right side and things like that. So right here it says, notice, processing bill of exchange, B.A. time draft. So I am in receipt of the attached offer requesting payment. Please find attached bill of exchange, BATD, the processing of which will discharge the entire current amount stated on the claim herein, accepted for value. The attached negotiable instrument is presented under authority of HJR 192, Public Law 73-10, UCC 3-104, Spencer versus Sterling Bank 63, Guarantee Trust Company of New York, and Witkin Negotiable Instruments, Volume 3. So on the undersigned UCC contract trust account. Following are the steps required for the regulation to settle this account. This is not a Treasury security, nor involving a Treasury direct bond account, nor is this instrument to be processed through the Bureau of Public Debt, nor is this instrument to be applied toward the national debt. These are our certified funds. You can leave that out. You can leave that out if you want to. It's up to you. Just make sure that when you do make this document, just make it yours. Don't just really copy and paste it, shit like that. So number one, attached negotiable instrument is in accordance with UCC 3-104 and complies with the terms of the original contract. The following must be followed to the letter in order to satisfy the claimed amount due on this account and discharge of this debt. Number two, my personal UCC contract trust account has been established with the Department of Treasury and may only be accessed with my approval through the bank of the claimant directly to the Secretary of Treasury, the drawee. Number three, the original negotiable instrument is certified and must be presented by claimant's financial institution, TTL department, via certified or registered mail. Return receipt with the green slip there, directly to the Secretary of the Treasury or his successor at the Department of the Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Ave, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 2020. The item processor at the claimant's financial institution with full identification and Bailey, the authorized TTL agent. Signature is to present the original negotiable instrument along with the instruction notice and the stamped claim to the Secretary of Treasury Department of the Treasury at the above address. And then so we'll get into the second half of this thing here too. So this is what you would hand in along with your instrument, because they're gonna probably really not know what to do with it, and I mean, it's not their fault, they just don't know. So the claimant's financial institution is to put a hold on the claimant's deposit, retain the documents or the copies, because the original gets sent to the to the Treasury Department directly, and you guys stay, and so whatever institution will stay with the copies, and await the return receipt card from the federal window, noting the date of the original negotiable instrument was received at the federal window in accordance with public and banking policy. For out-of-state transactions, the UCC and banking regulations stipulate 15 days. So because it's an out-of-state transaction, meaning that the Washington, D.C. is a foreign entity, state, etc., corporation. So any transactions that take place in the actual world and then over there and you're sending it to them, that's essentially an out-of-state transaction because they're federal, if you will. So the copy of the negotiable instrument is to be held at the financial institution until the required period for the federal window regulations J and Federal Reserve regulations Z, as JZ. So truth in lending 12 USC 226.1. The order property has passed on the 16th day. So 15 days it takes to cure, and then on the 16th day, the Treasury Department will release the credits to the institution that contracted with you. So the full face amount of the negotiable instrument is to be released by the local financial institution's TTL department and credit the claimant's account for the discharge of the claim. To ensure that claimant's financial institution receives full credit to their TTL account, claimant's financial institution is to take, and so what they'll probably give them is like credits or something like that, because we have unlimited credits. We can discharge unlimited anything. And that's what I'm doing for you guys too. So I'm basically just using my exemption for all of the bills that I've been doing for you guys. So you guys know what I do too. So any student loans, any taxes, any hospital bills, and any SBAs, any of those small business loans, any of those over 10,000, you send it to me. I'll discharge it for free using my exemption for you, and that'll just zero it all out for you. So you can do that. Email me if you have any questions at sovereignproductions369@gmail.com. And you already know it's me, Tone. So right here it says if the secretary what is it? Okay, so to ensure the claimant's financial institution receives full credit to their TTL account, claimant's financial institution is to take the retained copies of this letter of advice, the copy of the original claim accepted for value, the copy of the original bill of exchange, and enclose these documents with the institution's next remittance of estimated taxes to the Internal Revenue Service. So they talk about with the estimated taxes, it's the 1040 ES. That's similar to the process that I do too to get everything discharged. So the 1040 ES is a little bit different than the 1040 ES is a little bit different than the 1040V, similar to the voucher. It actually is a voucher as well. So I mean, we'll get into that too. I got a bunch of videos for you guys on all this shit. So if the Secretary of the Treasury drawee sends notice in writing of some error or problems, please notify the undersigned immediately upon receipt of such notice, and the matter will be addressed. You will be notified of the corrective action taken. Hereby request that you notify the undersigned when the required time period for the federal window and the Federal Reserve under Regulation J and Z have transpired. The ledgering completed and the account adjusted by the claimant's bank. Thank you for your cooperation in getting this account settled and the claim discharged. And it says not subject to negotiability, meaning that it's not a negotiable instrument. Because unless it says otherwise, here in commerce, everything is negotiable because everything's an offer. Nobody can make any demands, even though they fucking will, though, if you let them. But nobody's in a position to make any demands out here like that, especially these people. They're fucking come on. Especially these people who keep fucking up the economy and then blaming it on you. You keep bailing them out and then they want to keep blaming it on you. Come on. Fuck out of here. So this is what one would look like. So this is the actual full document here, which you guys can have as well. Just email me out. All of that stuff is free. You already know. So then here, custom and printing of the statement of account. So that'll be like the receipt or something like that, or the invoice, bill, whatever. So replace the tag that says date 14 current mail address with the date that is 14 days after the bill of exchange is going to be mailed. So do not count Sundays or holidays. Check with the person who is completed the certificate of mailing for you to ensure that their availability on the day you choose. Remove the yellow highlighting once you have replaced a string. So check the internet to look up your state equivalent of UCC 9-201. The naming conventions of most of the states correspond with UCC. The Arizona equivalent is 47-9201. So you may have a link to the UCC statutes for your state. The reason you want to list your state statute is because there is really no such thing as UCC 9-201 or any other section reference. The UCC is implemented into the statutes of each state in which they do that too. So the Uniform Commercial Code is essentially the Uniform Commercial Code, which is the code that runs everything that has to do with commerce. And then under that, you're going to have the states, which are corporations as well, and then they're going to have their own company policies, which are going to show up in your world as codes and statutes, but they're really just company policies. But they're going to copy the UCC and they're going to put it into their code states codes into their into the states codes and statutes. and so they'll look a little bit different, but you can find the same exact, more than likely the same exact wording, just in a different code or statute based on your state. So in order for a reference to be legally valid, so you want it, because it's going to be getting processed within your state, so you want them to have something that they can reference, that they can put their hands on. So you must include the state statute in your state. Remove the yellow highlighting once you have replaced the string. Print 3 copies of the statement of account once the modifications have been completed. This file contains many section breaks. Your version of MS Word may not support a printed page. Right? So this is just telling you about the different sizes that you can pick there too. And so definitely get this before you start doing any of this. Don't just start doing it based off the video either, because that's just crazy. So right here, you're gonna have the statement of account. This is essentially gonna show, kind of be like a bill of sale or something like that, if you will. So the balance shown above reflects my good faith statement of account for the account indicated above. The account representative or his designee may correspond or approve the statement. If you determine the balance is different than shown above, your documented correction must be returned to me within 2 weeks, no later than the 14 days of the current mailing address, pursuant to your state statute that corresponds with UCC 9-210 and UCC 9-210. What is it? Failure to correct and return the statement of account with supporting documentation of indebtedness within 2 weeks constitutes your agreement within this account, and after which your agent and assignees successor may only make claims up to this. So basically what this is saying is that it's giving them an opportunity to say if they have a problem with the amount that you have listed on your instrument to discharge, then they need to let you know, 14 days. So you're giving them 14 days to let you know what's going on with that. So, and that's pretty much that. So we'll get into some more shit after this, but so mainly what we've covered at this point is how to get it done, the UCC process, and then this right here is going to be the banking instructions that you're going to send along with all of that documentation that we already have referenced. This is going to let the banks know how to process the paperwork and documentation in order to get their accounts credited. TTL is the private side of that, so they'll probably get like credit from the treasury or whatever, which banks will lend you money. I'm pretty sure dollar for dollar. I mean maybe they'll take a fee to lend you money based on your tax credits, because we have unlimited tax credits, okay, to give to anybody and block anybody's taxes using your exemption. I mean, you can do all this too. So it is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these clowns. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.